Hey guys, here's a demo of a mock draft, ESPN 12 team, 1 PPR, and setting the reference to the ESPN because that's where I am. This is to show how to use the static sheets. Going to reset, undo all players on pick number 4, so changing that to match up the markers on the sheet. And I'm going to show you how this works. Because of the referencing, most of the players that other people will take are near the top, and I've just got to pay attention to who my best picks are. So that's the same in this case, Jamar Chase. So easy first pick in this case, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to speed up the video until the next pick comes, but you basically just click one by one. See, most of them are near the top in this case. Sometimes it can get a bit wild, but this is pretty nicely behaved. So by the time I get to the next pick, I'm going to evaluate which position. So I've already filled wide receiver, and you can see it looks like Trey McBride will probably filter the top. I think that's a good pick. I think get him ahead before the next turn. I think that's a good idea. So draft him. So now we've got a wide receiver and tight end. You keep clicking, and then it's a tough choice when I get here. I've got Jeremiah Love. That's actually an easy choice, I think. Instead of Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, better to take Love. Look at that long gap before the next round. So there's not going to be another better running back before that time. So since I already got my wide receiver, it's a clear pick. The next round, Josh Allen was clear. He was at the top. And I'm going to take advantage of that, looking at the other positions available and what's going to be there next round. So far this worked nicely. Most of the positions are being taken near the top, and my guys that I want filter up to match my individual preferences. Taking Terry McLaurin here, I already got Josh Allen, so obviously it makes sense. Take the best wide receiver available. So doing that. What I started to notice in this draft is that the other teams were going pretty running back heavy, so I was falling behind in that area. Good thing I got Love early, but it's kind of forcing me into picking some wide receivers. I could try to reach far ahead for those running backs, but I think they're going to swing back around in this case because people already got their running back. So I take TJ Moore, go wide receiver heavy myself, and assume that the running backs will come back to me. And that does look tricky now at a later point. I can see that my next pick will be much later. I've got the other positions filled I need, and the best running back is a little bit of a reach, but I want to make sure I get Jaylen Warren before the next turn passes. So gonna go and get him. So far I've been lucky. Most of the picks for me have filtered to the top as it was supposed to happen, so that's kind of lucky. Now looking ahead again, we can actually see it kind of did come to fruition. So Ramondre Stevenson also is now available. I think that's fine. It's a clear, obvious pick for the position that I need to fill at this point. Now, by the next turn, I'm still thinking a bit the same way. I want to catch up on running back. So I can see that the others have left Kenny Gainwell to me, as one could hope. I don't need quarterback or tight end, so he's the right pick there. So now my roster is pretty well balanced after choosing him. Then I got Travis Hunter. He was my top wide receiver available at the time, was nicely filtered near the top. The next pick is going to be Deebo Samuel. That was a little tricky. Now the players I want are not quite filtered to the top, but anyway, I think it's a fine pick for this stage of the draft. After that, nicely filtered to the top was a backup quarterback. I wanted Goff. He was my best available. It's actually listed a little bit down, but made sense. And then I got my kicker and my DST, and that was the end of the draft. So I got an A in the end. That was pretty lucky. You never know what ESPN's going to give you if you get your players, not the players that they rank as best. So that's the end. That's the way that the use of the static sheets is meant to work when you use referencing, ADP referencing, ESPN draft room referencing with a static sheet. You get a view of players that other people will take, and as you click through, your players should filter to the top. On reflection, I think that this worked very well through rounds 8 or 9. And then by the end, what I meant to do was actually switch to the auction sheet, because I think by that time you actually just want to see the players that you want, and it doesn't really help anymore to see the other view. The timing becomes less important. So I'll make a change to the output sheets so that can help the best way. Thanks for watching.